Hello and welcome to this video series, how to grow and sell microgreens. What we are doing in this video series is teaching you how to grow, cut and prepare your microgreens for sales, selling them to friends, family, neighbors, the people you know in a small setup like this from home. And in this video we will be discussing how and when should you need a dehumidifier. So if you want to prepare products like this and sell them to your friends, family, neighbors, it's very important that you don't have mold in your products, that the product doesn't become too humid. How will we operate this grow tent in order to make sure that there will not be mold in your microgreens and they will be dry enough to cut them and put them directly in a package for selling? So if you operate the system properly, then you don't need to dry your microgreens. You can cut them directly and put them in a container like this, and then they will not mold in the container. They will be the right humidity from the beginning. Last video we saw which type of containers, why we are using this type of container, and in this video we will dig a bit more into the humidity of the inside of the container, but also inside of the grow tent. We put a paper towel in the bottom to soak up the excess humidity from the greens. What I would propose that you do is take an unbleached one, because the white paper towel is white because it's bleached. So try to get a brown paper towel, because then it's unbleached and it's more natural. After growing microgreens for 7 years, growing in a small setup like this in our apartment and establishing a business where we now have 50 employees, we've chosen to make this video series to help you become a better grower, help you make a setup like this in your home, start growing microgreens, start producing for your own consumption, but also for your friends, your family, your neighbors, and selling them to create a small side hustle. By making this video series about this procedure and this process, we hope that you can start understanding a bit better what and how you should do it, and then learn how to grow microgreens, how to sell microgreens. And of course we hope that you will go into our grow shop, nordichydro.com, invest in the tent, in the lights, in the trays and the seeds and everything you need in order to get success with this. And in exchange, of course, we help you to become a grower, and we help you to understand how you should do this in a simplified way, where you will understand how you can create a side hustle from this. And the idea is that as soon as you understand and have learned how to start selling to your friends and family, we have set up coaching and consultation programs that teach you how to get into selling in a more consistent basis, not focusing on the farmers markets, but more focused on the restaurant industry, the hospitality industry, and how you can integrate your microgreens into the hospitality industry, selling that to local restaurants, to local wholesalers. But first, of course, you need to understand the basics, and that's what you learn here in this free video series, how to grow and sell microgreens. So if you're up for this challenge together, then let's go through this video series and you will learn a lot, and hopefully you will understand how and what you need to do to be able to, in order to sell your first package of cut microgreens to your friends, your family, your neighbors, the people that's around close to your inner circle. That's the idea. And let's move on to the video. So the way that we operate the tent is that usually we just have the fans on all the time at the highest speed. Now the fan is on the highest speed, and what I do is I usually just leave the tent like this. And then what I do is I ventilate the room properly 2 times a day to make sure that humidity doesn't build up inside the room here. Because if you have humidity build up in the room, it's really bad. It can make your greens mold, but it can also get your walls to mold, so that's not nice. So if you want, you can have your tent closed off in the night like this, And then you can take your fans and turn them a little down on the medium speed. That is possible to operate it like this, but I would not prefer this. I would prefer to leave the tent open like this and have the fans at maximum speed. Because in this way, you don't need to worry about excess humidity. I have made a video that you will see now where I've closed off the tent so only the bottom was on. As you can see, the humidity buildup happened quite fast, and we had humidity all over the walls and in the back of the opening of the tent. This is not optimal. We want to have as low humidity as possible when we're growing these microgreens. This is the best way to operate it and have the speed at maximum speed, because then when you cut your greens, you can cut them, put them in a container like this directly, and then put them in the fridge, and they will last much longer than if they are very, very humid and almost wet when you cut them. So when would I use a dehumidifier? I would use a dehumidifier if I fill up the tent completely like this with these trays here. I have 5 layers in the tent I can do that with. So if I would do that and it would be super humid outside, it would not be as cold as there's no humidity in the air. If it's freezing, there's no humidity in the air, then it's easy to ventilate the room 3-4 times a day if it's completely filled up. But you really need to measure the humidity inside your room. If it gets above 50% and you can't get the humidity out by ventilating, I would prefer using a dehumidifier. And we have a dehumidifier. This is a small dehumidifier here. It's using how much watts? So this is a 165 watt dehumidifier, and this is what we use. This is what we recommend, because it's not too big for this setup, but you really need to keep measuring your humidity as you level up your setup. So as you go with more plants, with more of these trays, then the humidity will also build up. So the higher humidity you have, the more dehumidification you need inside of your grow space. So this was a lesson in the humidity in the grow tent and also in the packaging. I hope you learned something from this. If you haven't seen the other part of the video series, I urge you to go back and see the first part of this to understand what this setup is and how to use it properly and why we have chosen to use this setup. Hopefully you're going to learn something from that. Follow the channel and subscribe to our channel, like the video, and then I will meet you in the next video where we will be discussing a bit about pests, why we're using these fly traps, what they're good for, and why you need to be concerned about pests if you don't know how to properly manage them. Thanks for watching. I will see you in the next video. And if you want some awesome equipment like this, of course, remember that we have everything available on nordichydro.com. We ship to most European countries, and we are also able to help provide you with equipment in North America. Just send us a message and then we will see if we can help supply you with everything that you need to get started growing microgreens and make these awesome packaged microgreens that you can sell to friends and family. In one of the later video series, we will also be discussing what you need to think about in order to actually go out and sell these. Who can you sell them to in the beginning without making any mistakes in regards to local laws and all of those things. So yeah, thanks for watching. See you in the next video.